Hey everyone, Kaz here from Turbo Watch Knobs doing a video review on the very cool Orient Mako 2. This model specifically is the FAA02002D9. That bonkers long reference number again is FAA02002D9. I'll make sure to write it down with some other helpful links in the video description, but this for me represents probably one of the more historic things to happen for Orient in a long time. Why is it historic? Why does it kind of cause my watch geekery to kick a little bit too much into overdrive? This is the first in-house Orient movement that is not very heavily derived or kind of built upon the original predecessing 46943 caliber. Both the 46943 caliber and this new F6922 caliber, they are both in-house. They're both Orient movements. But the big difference is that the 46943 caliber has been in production. It's still in production now and it's still used, but it started production in the 70s. It started production in the 70s, and a bit of trivia, the 46943 is basically a Seiko 7006 with some differences. The main difference is that, so what happened was in the 70s, Orient realized they had to start getting into the affordable automatic watch market. Instead of trying to do something from scratch, or instead of trying to kind of reinvent the wheel, they basically worked with Seiko and purchased the licensing rights to create the 7006 for Orient, except what they wanted to do was they wanted to make some changes, and they wanted to also, the biggest difference is they wanted to put a quick set day in there. So the number, I always get mixed up with the day. If the number is a day or the date, I'll say day. I'll say date. No, date. Date sounds right. There wasn't a quick set date on the 7006. Orient wanted to have one on there. So what they did was they took the 7006, they made another change with some other Seiko technology, but the big thing that they did was they had basically they had added an unintegrated quick set date wheel change. So you press the button, the wheel changes. That button became super iconic for a lot of Orient movements, and it's become super iconic for the look of the Mako. The Mako debuted in 2004 with that original 46943 movement that had already been in production for 35 years on Orient's side. Still in production now, but Orient is slowly making the transition to using these new F-series calibers for their watches. So some Bambinos have them. This Orient Mako 2s have them. F6922. What's super cool about this, immediately off the bat, button's gone. That's the big visual difference that you're going to be able to just kind of note when you see this newer Orient Mako 2 compared to the previous Orient Makos. Button's gone. The quick set date is now integrated into the keyless works, as is traditional. There you go. Go the other way, change the day. Let's put it in Spanish. I don't know Spanish. Nope. Bam. There we go. Lunes. Other really cool changes with this F6922 movement that you'll notice off the bat is, I actually should have demonstrated earlier, you can manually wind it, and girl feels good. Hi, my name is Kaz. I'm a habitual manual winder. I love manually winding a watch, even if the damn thing has no reason to be manually wound. I like it. It's a fidgety thing for me. I like having the option of, if you're like me and you leave your watches out of rotation for a while, so let's say you have a watch collection of like 7 watches and one watch you don't touch for 3 days and the power reserve dies, you don't have to sit there and, shake it like a psychopath in the morning. You can just give it a few winds so you can kickstart it, set it, throw it on, you're good to go. So adding the manual wind that the 46943 didn't have before was huge. The other really cool thing that makes this totally just fantastic is that it hacks. Pull the crown out all the way to set the time, and while you do so, it hacks. So it really allows you to have the watch be as accurate as possible, or at least have as much control as you can over the accuracy of the watch by, setting the time on a specific second. So if you wanted to be like super particular and you wanted to like synchronize the seconds with something, you could, wait till a certain point. Let's say you just want to synchronize it there for some reason, and then it's good to go. The action is super smooth. I like it a lot. What's really fun about this, and the reason this is also historic, is that these types of features in the more quote-unquote accessible Orients is just super cool. You can find some of them in the other Orient pieces, specifically the Orient Star, but these Orient pieces, the accessible ones, so your Bambinos, your Makos, your Defenders, your Steams, your Howards, there's a whole buttload of Orients that people don't really know about, because they're just focusing on these Makos and the Bambinos and the Rays to an extent. Having these features in a watch like this that you can get for around 160 USD. I think last time I checked the price of this particular model, the FAA02002D9, easily under 200 USD. Having those features in this is so cool. So with this F6922 movement, I'm really hoping it's going to be a new wave of just really fun, accessible movement technology that they continue to put into the Mako, this Mako 2, the regular Mako line, not like the Mako USA line. New movement, so far it's pretty cool. I thought what was pretty interesting is the winding mechanism is sort of, it's hard, it's going to be hard for you guys to tell, but I'm going to compare it to another Orient in a second. There's a particular kind of loudness to it and a nice resistance, which reminds you you're manipulating a mechanical movement. Let's see if you pick that up. So I want to wind another, oh here it is, good, thank God, thought I would left it somewhere else. This is my Orient Star WZ00701DJ. It is powered by the 40P53 movement, which they feature in the Orient Star pieces. This thing winds. This thing has its own particular winding profile. But the difference is, I mean, this thing hacks, it manual winds, does all that stuff. This piece is obviously much more expensive than the Orient Mako FAA02002D9. So having these features in this piece is just super cool. Both have similar kind of winding features, so that kind of leads me to believe that you can, if you're really meticulous, you can trace the sort of, you know, mechanical genealogy history of just how the Orient movements evolve. It in and of itself is something I've always been fascinated with, and I want to do more work in just understanding. And so when these, it's funny, when these F6922 movements were announced, I believe Michael, my partner on the Two Broke Watch Snobs podcast, we were still working together, and Michael has a very particular relationship with the Orient Mako, the original one that had the 46943 movement that the Orient Mako debuted with. That was a special watch for him, and it still is. He has it now. That was his wedding watch. He wore it for his wedding. He's written a review on it and everything like that. And so there's always been, in the affordable watch world, there's always been this kind of reverence for the Orient Mako, but particularly for us in Two Broke Watch Snobs. I remember when the Orient Mako 2 was announced with the new F6922 caliber, manual wind, hack, all that fun stuff. I remember reading about it, and I turned to Michael and I said, yes, my body is ready. My body is ready for the F6922. Love the movement, but in regards to the whole piece holistically, I wanted to just talk about it as well. So the movement's really good, but how are some of these other features that are included in the Orient Mako 2 FAA02002D9? The other change they did, in addition to the movement, is they changed the bezel. So original Mako bezels, I believe, were 60 click. This one is now 120 click. It's tough. You gotta get in there. You really have to dig in there to get some purchase. Let me throw it on my wrist. You guys want to see me just handling this thing? Wrist hand, by the way. There you go. For anyone else, any other colored watch folk out there? Damn it, this thing is so cool. Son of a bitch, dude. Sorry. It's really gotta dig in there. And now since I started, I have to go all the way around. 120 clicks. The clicks do feel good. It is really tough to turn this though. So I don't think it's a resistance issue. I gotta get it lined up. I was gonna lose my mind. Is it lined up? Yeah, more or less. I don't think it's a resistance issue. I think it's a leverage issue. So what they've done is they have the profile of the bezel. It's sloped. The edges of the, I guess, coin edge bezel, they are super polished. It looks very sleek. It has a really fun profile. It's a very classic shape of the case. Obviously, it's kind of, you know, sub-based, but it still has its own unique features, which we'll talk about in a moment. But the problem is the shape of the bezel and the way that they've decided to do this, you can't really, it's hard to grip it. I guess if I was, let's assume I'm some sort of avid diver, because I'm holding a diver. I'm surrounded by divers, but I'm not a diver. But let's say I'm an avid diver and I had dive gloves on. Maybe it'd be easier. But if you're just like a desk jockey like me, it's difficult, you know, so something to be aware of. I'd be curious to hear people's thoughts if that's an issue that's persisted on the previous ones as well, but really cool to see they upgraded the bezel to 120 clicks. I know that was something that people were talking about. In terms of the case, so obviously it's a Submariner, sort of like old school sub kind of case shape. We're coming in at 41.5 millimeters in diameter, 47 lug to lug, and 13 millimeters thick. Super classic case dimensions. I mean, it's one of those things that's just super wearable, and I'm really into it. Doesn't sit too high, it's very comfortable, but my favorite part about the case, something I don't think gets enough love. So the size here, let me get this off the wrist so you guys can get a better gander what the hell I'm talking about here. Sides are super polished. You can see it's reflecting. I did my best to keep fingerprints off of it. I'm failing. But the tops here are matte brushed. Let me make sure I can get in close. There we go. Bam. Matte brushed. Polished. The transition between the surface textures, it's so clean. It's so organic. Usually with something like this, you'd have a very sharp, you know, edge, or there'd be some sort of overt kind of beveling. That's not the case here. I mean, even on, maybe I can use this as an example. Yeah, I can use this as an example. I'll use my orange star as an example. You can see this clear line between the change from polished, there we go, to matte. Yeah, that shit's not here on that. That's a really like particular level of finessing the case design, and it really creates a very fun, very organic case shape profile, especially in conjunction with the end links here. Unfortunately, speaking of the end links, this Orient Mako 2, the FAA02002D9, bam. It does have one of the features that people do complain about with the Orient Mako, and that the end links are hollow. That's to say these are not solid. It's a quality issue, I suppose. Aside from that, the bracelet does feel pretty good. I actually like it more than the... Where the hell is it? There we go. I like it more than the bracelet that's on Christmas Chrono. Orient Christmas Chrono. So, another affordable Orient piece. Both similar style, sort of oyster links, you know? But something about the quality on the Mako 2, just puts it over the top in regards to the other kind of, you know, Orients in a similar price range. So it's one of those things that I'm sure they're also trying to improve. There are other Mako 2s where the end links are solid. On this one in particular, it's not. Let me see here. Crown screws down, really a lot of fun. Screw down case back. Again, this part here is polished, this part here is brushed. The bracelet itself, the links, the top part is brushed. Let me get this closer. Bam. Top part is brushed. Sides are polished. Really fun look, obviously. The clasp, I was actually super surprised about. I was expecting this thing to be made out of, like, wet Wonder Bread. Clasp is super solid. Really good quality on the, I guess, stamping, technically, of the Orient logo here. So it's double locking. Flip that up, press these down, bam. This part here is always fun to see, kind of how brands decide to treat this detailing. So it's been, I technically get this as bead blasted or kind of treated in some way. Usually it's just high polished or something that's kind of quote unquote, you know, lazily done. The fact that I went through the effort and brushed this means that they are paying attention. So even though with this FAA02002D9 Orient Mako 2, got some dust there, Orient Mako 2, the movement and the bezel are kind of emphasized. It does seem like they did their work to improve the bracelet experience. And in addition to that, the crystal is mineral in this one. I remember now. Crystal is mineral. They do have the Orient Mako 2 USA has a sapphire crystal. I believe it has solid end links and all that stuff like that. But that watch is also probably twice the price of this. The Orient Mako 2 USA, I think, is around $300 or $350. This one you can find under $200 all day. And for me, I would totally prefer this one just because I like the numerals on here, the actual Arabic numerals with the loom in them. I think it's really a lot of fun. A lot of the attention that you get, a lot of the cool parts you get with the movement are also here as well, and I really do enjoy that. To really get an idea, I think, of pros and cons for the piece. Pro, easily, all day, this new F6922 movement. I mean, this thing, I'm really excited to see what other movement technology advancements we can get in some of these more, in the bottom level, nah, it sounds bad saying bottom level, but the kind of everyday market Orient pieces, things that aren't Orient Star, things that aren't Royal Orient. So Pro is definitely the movement. Pro, I like the fact that they put attention into having the bezel be more clicks. A con for the bezel, though, is just the shape profile does not lend itself very well to gripping it. Let me see. Other con, technically you can make the argument for the mineral crystal, but remember, of the Orient 2 pieces that are available, this is the one that is the more affordable price, under $200. If the sapphire crystal is important, you can check out the Mako Orient USA 2 or Mako US 2 USA, whatever the hell it is. The 2 USA one. That one's going to have your sapphire crystal. Pro also 200 meters water resistance. Let me think here. 40 hours power reserve. The 46943 previously was rated at plus 35 seconds, minus 25 seconds a day. This new F6922 is plus minus 15 seconds a day. Now, I say that also just want to clarify, people were getting incredible accuracy out of that original 46943. The accuracy on this F6922, I haven't heard too much about it yet. Interested to kind of do some of my own research on this movement so I can get a better idea of what that looks like on here, but I'm sure it's something that's going to be just as accurate and reliable as the original 46943. So let me see here. Con also, the end links not being solid on the FAA02002D or 2D9. There you go. But a Pro is just, the bracelet just feels really good. I think they're kind of getting a good idea of how to balance out, cutting cost here, but then putting some of that cost there and everything like that. One of the more interesting cons is that, I can't remember if I've already talked about this in the video, but by improving the movement, by putting a lot of that technological advancements, making it more accessible, and then redefining this classic Orient piece, the button's gone, which I guess is supposed to be a Pro, but you've changed the entire kind of case profile of the piece. The original case profile of the Mako, having that button, having that weird quirky button, it just became so iconic to the point where it was just something that made the watch fun. Even if it was potentially weird or inconvenient, it was just fun. That's gone now. And in a sense, this watch is almost now it blends in too much with the rest of the crowd, so, but that's just my personal opinion. I always like quote-unquote X factors in a watch that are really well done and balanced, and that button was definitely one of them with the original Orients that were leveraging the 46943 movement. These new ones with the F6922, I think they're going to continue to iterate on this watch. I think it's going to keep being super, super cool, but it does make me nostalgic for the previous one, not having that button there. So that's just one of those weird things. If anyone else kind of feels the same way, totally let me know what's up. I think these things are going to maybe start making those original ones even cooler. I've heard some people say that, like oh, I'm old school Mako crew for life, and it's just like, wow, okay, I can see it already starting to happen. So, and I didn't think I would be one of those people either, but then when I had this watch, when I first took it out of the box, and then when I first put it on my wrist, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't have the button. It's still super cool. I still recognize it as an Orient piece because you can't forget that logo. The logo itself is very controversial for people. I like it, but the lack of a button kind of definitely takes away some of the quirkiness. So really looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts on this Orient Mako 2 FAA02002D9. Check out the links below in the video description. I'll link Michael's original write-up for his sort of 3-year long-term review, with the original Mako with the 46943 movement. And I'll also link the write-up that I'm doing for this watch on the TwoBrokeWatchSnobs.com website. Also, please be sure and check out the Two Broke Watch Snobs podcast. It airs every Monday. Basically, if you haven't heard it, it's the closest thing I can compare it to is just orological bar talk. You get off of work, you hang out with your buddies in a bar, You get drunk, maybe you talk about watches. People are definitely going to talk about genitals. It's a very crude podcast, but it's so good. So, want to end this Orient video with a bit of a wrist roll all the kids are doing. Man, I will say though, just taking away all of that like blah 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 critiquing, kind of like spec snobbery. When you put this thing on your wrist with a little carpet, it just feels good. It sits really, really well, and yeah, this is something I'm probably gonna have to get in my collection permanently. This particular piece is actually going out to the winner of the Two Broke Watch Snobs 6,000 follower giveaway. So, giveaways are things that we do pretty often here at the Two Broke Watch Snobs, and yeah, if you're curious about that, just follow us on Instagram at Two Broke Watch Snobs. Looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts. Please let me know what's up in the comments below, and if there are any questions about this watch in particular that I did not cover, please let me know, and I'll do my best to address them. Otherwise, Cass from Two Broke Watch Snobs here. Later.